So welcome back to another video here in Pennsylvania and to another chilly, windy, wet March day here in Pennsylvania. Today is Saturday, March 11th, right about lunchtime. But yeah, it's been not my most favorite weather to film in, but it is what it is. We got spoiled back in February. Had some beautiful days, almost 70-degree days. But anyway, like I said, I think I mentioned in the previous video, it's kind of back to reality now. It's just kind of like what it's supposed to be like weather-wise, although a little bit colder than average. So we're kind of getting, anyway, back to reality. But as my mom says, there's that saying, March comes in like a lion, leaves like a lamb. So hopefully, I did look at the extended forecast. It looks like temperatures will moderate a little bit more, get some more spring-like weather coming up soon here. But yeah, so it's a mail time video. I do have some mail to share here. And gonna talk about some other things too in this video. Because the one, I'm not sure how much I want to talk about it, but because it kind of makes me angry all the time. But I'll deal with, if you're on YouTube at all and listening to other people saying some other videos, there's this whole thing with filming on national park land or any federal land in general. A recent ruling was made about that. That's very frustrating. There were some rulings in the past that were made on it that were good, and then recently there was an appeal was made by the National Park Service, and things kind of went back to where they were, but even worse. But I'll talk about that later in this video because it does affect what I do on this channel. Because it's not just national park land; it's national historic parks, national forest land, perhaps any federal land in general. Although it gets kind of confusing because not all federal land is following the advice that I think it's the Department of the Interior that controls all that. It gets kind of confusing. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm not sure how much I want to talk about it. Because you can make a 30-minute video about it, which I don't really want to do. But anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. And also, perhaps, talk a little bit about YouTube Shorts. If you're on YouTube at all, it's a new thing they commit with, kind of to compete with TikTok. I'm not really sure what I think of them. They're like these less than a minute long videos. They're called Shorts. I watch them sometimes, but anyway, I've been debating back and forth in my mind whether to try them out or not, and I'll tell you what I've decided, or sort of decided, a little bit later in this video too. But so let's get to the mail first, though. Let's go through some letters first. So our first letter is from Steve and Debbie. But thank you for your kind words in your note, and also the gift that was inside there. And I think they live out in Indiana County. They sent me the brochure, Covered Bridges of Indiana County. Because I think this might be the third brochure I have on Indiana County, the covered bridges. There's 4 there. Man, I could have got to some of those last year when I did we filmed the Katanning Expedition, part of my French and Indian War series, and we drove through Indiana County. Where were we at? Yellow Creek State Park. But I had other things on my mind to film that day, that trip. But we will get back to Indiana County, hopefully this summer, and we can hit all 4 of those in one day, actually, because they're kind of all pretty close to each other. So I will get to those, Steve and Debbie. So thank you for that. It's a letter from Glenn. Glenn always lives out in Washington. Always sends me a letter regularly. Thank you for the gift that was inside your letter. Yeah, when I was reading your letter, Glenn, my mom came in the room and she read the letter too. So she said that she's going to pray for you, just because. Some of the health issues you talk about in here, so things you're going through. So yeah, life is a struggle sometimes, but anyway, thank you, Glenn. It's always appreciated. And I'm thinking about you too, Glenn. It's not just my mom that's going to pray for you. It sounded pretty bad there. But here's a Valentine's Day card. I know this is March 11th, and you may not see this video till the end of March, but this is all the mail I'm sharing with you today is stuff I've got from like mid-February to now. So yeah, this is from Debbie, not the Debbie from the Steve and Debbie, but a different Debbie. So thank you for that. Thank you for the gift that was inside there too. All right, then we got a letter from Greg. Thank you for the things you mentioned in your letter, Greg. I know he mentioned he liked the French and Indian War series, Braddock's Road. So thank you for that. I think he mentions come back out to Western PA. I do plan on being out to Western PA soon again. Like I said, probably the first camping trip I'll do, either in April or May, we'll be heading back out that way to Western PA. Plan on making quite a few trips out that way this year. I have business out there, I should say, filming business, different things. And then we got a letter from John. So he sent me, yeah, he mentioned the Pine Grove covered bridge down Lancaster County. You probably get mad at me, John, but I was just down that way not too long ago. I think my last road trip I took, but instead of going to Pine Grove covered bridge, I filmed Mercer's Mill covered bridge. It was closer to the road I was going home on. I decided to save the Pine Grove bridge for later. So I think there's another one down near that way too, but I'll get to that one eventually. He also sent me a map of the Nottingham County Park in Chester County. I have filmed there before. There's actually some interesting history there. Some mining history dating back to World War I and stuff like that. So cool place. I'm checking it out again. I might go back. We'll see. Got a lot of places I want to go. Alright, then I got a package here from Barry. Nice big envelope. He lives out in Western PA. Thank you for your letter. Information, a bunch of stuff about the French and Indian War sites. He says he's a major George Washington enthusiast, not a general George Washington enthusiast, but before Washington became famous, he's a fan of him from that time era, which I would kind of agree with too. I find that era of his time a little bit more interesting than his presidential career and stuff. But he sent me a bunch of information about some of the stuff out that way, which I have to take a closer look at. All kinds of newspaper articles and things I might be interested in, because like I said, I will be heading out that way this summer, so I may be stopping at some of these places. But thank you, Barry. He also sent me a map of Braddock's Road. I probably should have had this map back. I filmed Braddock's Road last summer. That was fun. That was a challenge though too. But that map might have helped me a little bit more. It was fun, but man, I love the back roads. But when you're in an area where you're not familiar with the back roads, the back roads aren't named. I mean, they are named, but in some places there's no. When you're actually out there, they don't have the names of the roads. Like there's little green signs here in PA that tell you what the name of the road is. You have different road crossings, but out there, a number of places, there was a road crossing, but didn't tell you what the name of the road was, so I was kind of having to guess. And yes, you can use Google Maps, but sometimes Google Maps, if you don't have service out in rural Pennsylvania, good luck. So, but it was still fun. It was a fun adventure, though. All right, another Valentine's Day card. I kind of remember, I thought there was another Valentine's card. There was, from Sandra. Here's the card. What's shaking bacon? So thank you for that card. And she has something else in here. Got a pair of socks. Check that out. That truck on it reminds me of that. If you've been with me since maybe back before 2019, I used to have that old red truck that I drove around. That's what it kind of reminds me of. So thank you for that. Let me mention this too. This came in a box the other day. There was no name with the box. It was one of those boxes that comes from Amazon. I have an idea who it's from, but it's one of these tins of cookies that go great with coffee. The Danish butter cookies. So the seal has already been broken. I've already been eating them. So thank you to whoever sent them. Like I said, I think I know who they came from, but I'm not going to assume, because like I said, there was no name in the box. But if they came from if they came from you can say something in the comments about it. And the rest of this is from Debbie, the same Debbie that sent that one Valentine's Day card there. So one package that came in had some, but thank you for your note, Debbie. And she sent me some seeds. I do love to grow things. It's one of the things I miss most about. I know I always mention the farm I grew up on this channel, but I had a big garden. I loved growing things. I had a kind of like a container garden on my porch this year, but one of these days, I know I've talked in the past about moving and getting a place. It's been kind of on hold lately for different reasons, but one of these days we will. I'll get up a big garden again. But she sent me some other information. Here's the, I'm going to say it right, the Chemung Canal, which is up in southern New York. I was right near there back in 2019 when I worked with my friend John doing we did stripping and waxing on Dollar General floors. We were right near that area. It was kind of interesting. And a few other things from up that way. Here's a covered bridge up in the Finger Lakes region of New York. And we got a few other pieces of information about George Washington, Battle of Gettysburg, and another little article she clipped out. What's this one about? Oh, I made that video on the shoe. She sent me an article about that. So thank you, Debbie, for that package. And she did send me another package. Has some Kind almond butter bars. I don't think I've had this variety yet. But anyway, there you go. And she sent me some of these again. The potato sticks. Actually, she sent me 2 of these. The one's at home and almost pretty much empty already. But these are good. All right, thank you for that, Debbie. Looks like I got some visitors back there. You can see a van parked back there. The whole family coming out. All right, so let's talk about YouTube Shorts for a little bit. Eating some more butter cookies. Kind of watching that one family down there. I think they're hunting for a geocache here. I see them walking around the whole area looking for something. Bending over, looking under benches. There's a huge pine tree over there. Anyway, maybe I should show it to you anyway. But yeah, so YouTube Shorts, you might know about them already. Like I said, they're they're shorts. They're less than a minute long video. They're filmed in the vertical, on your phone screen. YouTube started it to kind of compete with TikTok, and I'm not sure how it's going for them. Not really into TikTok or Shorts, that kind of stuff. But my friend John has made quite a few of those shorts for his channel, The Hometown Historian. You don't make a whole lot of money off of them. I think he told me recently what he made per short, and he was kind of like, ugh. But it has helped his channel grow, and that's what they've said. Shorts, if you have a smaller channel, it does help. It does attract interest to your channel. It can help your channel grow, I guess, is what they're saying. So, I don't know. I might dabble in it a little bit in some ways. I'm not gonna make a lot of money from them. I think you have to, in order to make a lot of money from shorts, you need to get millions and millions of views. So if you have a channel, if you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and get millions of views, you might actually make some decent money from YouTube Shorts. But a normal channel like mine that's not gonna happen. So, but they are another tool to use to try to attract people to my channel. So I might, like I said, I might dabble in it a little bit. I know I want to start that series on edible and medicinal plants. I thought about doing some shorts with those, maybe. What I was thinking was maybe using making a short of one of those videos as kind of like a preview, using it as kind of a preview for what was going to come the following day. So maybe I'd upload a short in the evening, 8-9 o'clock, about pine needle tea or something like that, and then it would be kind of like a preview of the video that's going to come out the next day, the full-length video on making pine needle tea or something like that. But it'll be a video that would act as a preview, but it also could be like a standalone short in and of itself. So I don't know. I'm thinking about different ways of making them so that they're actually semi-interesting as a short, but we'll see. I may not end up doing anything, but if you see that happen, if you see them pop up, I'm just dabbling with it to see if it's going to be worth. Because if it does bring more people to my channel, help my channel grow, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So if it's a tool that I use and it works a little bit better, works for me, maybe we'll try it. But I'm not gonna switch over. I'm not gonna switch over to making shorts all the time. My channel is still gonna be these more longer videos. That's what I like making. So anyway, just gonna throw it out there. If you see some shorts pop up, that's kind of what I'm thinking. We'll see what happens. If I like making them and they're working out for me, maybe I would continue to do them, or who knows. I'm still, the wheels are still turning up in my mind. It's kind of like a stew. It's just kind of stewing for a while to see how I want to do it. All right. And then the last thing I want to talk about here in this video, like I said, is the whole filming in national parks issue, which, like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit in this video. I might make a longer video in the future about it, depending on how I feel, because anyway, it's just a frustrating topic, but I think it's something that the more people that are aware of it, the better. I I'm not much of a writing to your senator or representative in government, but in this case, I'm thinking about writing some letters because it's a disturbing issue. Actually, it's not just something that affects YouTubers. You might think, well, this is not something that applies to me. I don't make money on YouTube, but it does. It affects if you're on social media. If you're uploading anything film-wise to social media, it potentially affects you, and it's just wrong too. But just a quick, very brief summary. Back like 2002, the National Park Service created this rule that if you're going to do commercial filming on national park land, that you needed to get a commercial filming permit. Of course, this was before YouTube and all that kind of stuff existed, so it was more for like the movie makers, people that are making like the larger production crews and stuff. It wasn't designed for like YouTubers and social media. But then that got challenged at one point. There was a court case about that, so that got overturned. You didn't need a commercial filming permit to film. But then recently, the National Park Service appealed that case, and they won that case, and they went back to that original idea, but they made it even worse now. Targeting like YouTubers in general, mentioning by name on some websites that you need a commercial filming permit to film in national parks. Now you may think, well, what's the big deal? You need a permit. Well, it's the cost is one of the things, and we'll get to that in a moment. But this is not just national park land. This is national historic parks like Valley Forge and Gettysburg here in Pennsylvania. Both now require a commercial filming permit, and potentially any national historic site or national forest lands, or out west they have BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land, potentially any of those areas, including the Appalachian Trail, which is most of that land is National Park Service land, even though it's not really a national park. So all these things, potentially areas, require a permit to film. And if it was just the obtaining of a permit, that would be one thing, but like I said, it's the price. Like some parks, like Death Valley National Park, it's a $300 fee. $300. They call it a processing fee to get that permit. So you pay the $300. The $300 doesn't actually get you the permit. It just pays for the application fee to potentially get the permit. But to make it even worse, like I said, that's just to apply for the permit. So if you pay the $300, fill out the permit material, whatever it is, the form. If they turn you down and say, hey, we don't want to give you this permit because we don't, whatever, you don't get your $300 back either. They keep your $300. They call it a processing fee. Like it really costs $300 to read over a form, and I don't know. It's kind of weird. Not all of them are $300. Valley Forge is charging $75. I looked up. Gettysburg, I couldn't find on their website what they're charging. Because Gettysburg, they have a commercial filming permit and also a location permit thing. It was weird. All these different things. That's kind of the problem too, is each park is kind of doing their own thing, charging different amounts, have a different process for it. And some parks aren't even charging anything yet. Like when I looked at Great Smoky Mountains National Park, I didn't see anything about a commercial filming permit there. Same with Shenandoah National Park. So it seems like another YouTuber explained it. They're even, they're all under the National Park Service, but they all kind of do their own thing in different ways. So some are kind of following the ruling, and some are not. It seems like which is kind of cool that some are not, but that makes it even more confusing because who do you need to get a permit for, and who do you don't? And some websites came right out and made it quite clear who does. Some it was hard to find. I don't know. It's confusing. As far as national historic sites, like in our Horseshoe Trail series, recently I hiked through Hopewell Furnish National Historic Site. That was before I realized there was a change on that ruling, but I went to their website. Their website says nothing about getting a commercial filming permit. So, I don't know, it's, whatever. So, yeah, I don't really care for it at all. So yeah, I mean, there's so much more we could say about it. And it does affect me, because I was hoping to start that series on the Revolutionary War here in Pennsylvania, but if places like Valley Forge are going to charge me $75 to film it, and the thing is, you got to apply like up to 30 days in advance sometimes. You got to make plans. So let me adjust my screen here a little bit. So you got to figure out, you got to plan way in advance, 30 days in advance. You got to let them know, well, what if it's like pouring down rain that day and it's not good for filming? Well, that's too bad. I'm just, I got to reapply. I got to pay another $75. I don't get that $75 back. It's just very, it's very unfair. It's very, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense at all. Like I said, if you're going to go to Death Valley to film, like I said, it's $300, but that's just for one permit, for one, if you want to film there the following week, you got to pay another $300. Like there's a channel out in Western PA I watch every once in a while. They just do fishing videos at like Lake Powell or Lake Mead. Both those places are requiring, $200 commercial filming permit. So if they want to go there and film a fishing video, they got to pay $200. They're not doing it anymore. It's just ridiculous. The thing is that those rules are initially made more for larger movie crew productions, which makes sense if a larger movie crew is going to come in and, disturb the whole park area and stuff. Requiring a $200 fee is nothing for a big movie. But for a YouTuber, it's ridiculous. I can understand. It's like they want a piece of the pie. Yeah, I do make money here on YouTube, but if I go film at Valley Forge and pay $75, they're not just taking a piece of the pie in my earnings. They're taking the whole pie and then some. Because I'm not gonna make $75 on a video at Valley Forge, to be honest. So it's like, it's just ridiculous. And I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. It doesn't just affect me, like I said. Anybody, even if your channel isn't monetized, you just put videos on YouTube, it's still considered commercial filming. It's just the way it is. So if you're just someone who posts videos for friends and family to watch, you still technically need a commercial filming permit. It affects, independent news people, like researchers and journalists, because, if they want to report on, if something's happening at a national park or some other spot on federal land that they want to report on and film, technically they can't. They got to get a permit first, 30 days in advance. Well, then that doesn't make no sense if you're reporting on a news event. Larger news corporations don't have to pay that permit fee. They can just go whenever they want to, which is unfair. So it affects journalists, affects all kinds of people. It's a violation of your freedom of speech. It infringes on the freedom of the press, stuff like that. So it's just absolutely ridiculous. And there's more and more and more I can say. There's other videos online if you want to learn more about it. But yeah. And the thing is, national park land is, as another YouTuber I watch, Hiker Dude Dad, he just made a video recently on this. Well, he touched on it a little bit. Because I think he's planning to go out. Like last summer, he took a trip out west, filmed a bunch of national parks. Amazing videos, amazing places, but he has a whole thing planned for this summer. But now, his channel isn't even monetized. He just makes videos, It's like, but now it's frustrating. Imagine making all those plans to go, and anyway. But like, yeah, that land it's public land. It's our land. We pay for it. So now we're being forbidden from filming there, or not forbidden, but discouraged, I guess you could say. You have to pay, $300 to film here now. That's just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, enough bad news with that. Good news is it is going to go to the Supreme Court. I've read some different things about that. They're going to take it there because it's just ridiculous. And I've listened to some lawyers talk about it on YouTube, and they're like, yeah, it's going to get, that ruling is going to probably get shut down or stopped, reversed, or whatever, because there's just so many things that are unconstitutional about it. It's ridiculous. And just their handling of it, why would you charge someone $300? One person walking around with a camera, why would you charge them $300 to film? I mean, in my opinion, some YouTubers are annoying when they go to national parks or even state parks. They're annoying. Let's be honest. Yeah, but most of us are not. Most of us are just, we're promoting the beauty of these parks, the history. Like if I go to Valley Forge, I'm promoting the place. Why would you not? Why would you discourage someone from filming there if they're promoting the history and the beauty that's at Valley Forge or any other national park? It makes absolutely no sense. I'm forgetting what I'm talking about. There's so many things I want to say, but yeah, or just like why punish us for promoting the park system and the beauty that's there? It's just ridiculous. There's something else I want to say, but I forget now. I'm getting too much is going on in my mind. But like I said, I am hopeful that it will get turned over just from listening to what some lawyers are talking about. Like if it does go to the Supreme Court, which looks like it's what will happen, I don't really think it stands a chance there. At least that's what I would hope. There's other issues too. or filming on the Appalachian Trail. Like, I was going to start that series on filming the Appalachian Trail in Maryland. I think I'm actually going to continue with that, because I've seen nowhere, some channels brought that up, because the National Park Service does kind of maintain, I mean, there's different groups that maintain a trail, but a lot of the Appalachian Trail's on national park lands or federal land. But I've seen nowhere it restricts your filming there. But technically it does, but that's a weird thing. Like I said, every place kind of has its own rules, and I've seen nothing official. And I've seen there's still a ton of people filming on the Appalachian Trail. Every year, through hikers film their journey, and they're continuing to do that. So I think I'm just going to continue to film there until something comes up that says you can't. But we'll see how that works out. But it's just a precedent that it sets too. Like, when I first read about that, I thought about this reversal in the ruling. Like, oh no, what's going to happen? Because what's going to, it's like a trickle down effect, and it's already starting to happen. It's like, in North Carolina, the state parks in North Carolina are now requiring a commercial filming permit. So if they're seeing what's happening at the federal level, then people want to follow suit. It's like they all want to, it's just a way, it's like a cash cow, just trying to make money off of, it's ridiculous. And even some county parks, some places are trying to get you to get a commercial filming permit to film. So it's kind of like a trickle down. So then I was concerned, oh no, what's Pennsylvania going to do? So I looked it up. Pennsylvania, nope. They even have, like, they make it quite clear that it's free, completely free to film here in Pennsylvania. There's no commercial filming permit necessary for Pennsylvania state parks and stuff like that. So cool. But anyway, I probably said more than I was going to say in this video about it. So, like I said, I am thinking about I do want to write a letter to my governing officials. I think the more, because it's just absolutely ridiculous, to be honest. So I think the more people that know about it, that's kind of why I decided to say something anyway. I think the more people that know about it, the more it gets out, the more will be done about it in the end. Alright. It's all kind of depressing. But I think we'll end the video here. Anyway, folks, thanks for all the mail and the cookies. So, I gotta get this off my mind. I'm gonna go home and do some research on places that I can go and film at. So we'll see. Like I said, hopefully it gets just shut down totally, because if it doesn't, it's just going to make it more and more difficult to film. And it's like, it's a shame, because, anyway, I got to let it go. Alright, folks, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one, wherever that may be. Probably down on federal land, but anyway.